Hey everybody, how's it going? This is just a quick video to go through an analysis of a crop circle that has just appeared. Today's date is July 18th, 2022, and this crop circle has just popped up on my feed. I track a lot of crop circles, and crop circle season is it's about now. So just to give those of you who have no idea what crop circle season is, well, it's basically a period in time every year, starting from around like now, like June, July onwards for a couple of months, like 2-3 months or so. And this is basically where crop circles appear in a certain and only in a mostly around only in a certain like latitude of Earth, which is very intriguing. And the thing about these crop circles is that usually there is water like systems that are found underneath these like plains as well. So that's just some interesting information about it. But this very interesting crop circle has been recently been created here by someone or something, and I'm using a tool like a graphic design tool, Figma, just to see if I can analyze some of the patterns and try and figure out, what it means, if it means anything at all. But you can clearly see here that it's a nice hexagonal shape. So if you see, it seems like, yeah, it seems like it's clearly divided into like equal pie slices. And there are essentially just like alternating patterns throughout. So if you think of like computers spitting out ones and zeros, you could think of these ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are like the ones, and then maybe these are like the zeros. So you can see that these patterns have been kind of like cut out from one another. Wait, let me just find an aerial. Let me just show you all the beauty of this crop circle first. And just realize the symmetry, and essentially just notice that there's no like footprints around and that sort of thing. And also just notice the patterns in the grass and this like swirly pattern. So actually move on to the picture. And it seems like all these fields are sort of like untouched as well. So there's a really good aerial shot of this crop circle here, which is great because this allows us to analyze the pattern. I always had an inkling or some kind of intuition, like maybe if I start trying to draw the crop circles with like a computer software, I might be able to maybe unlock some of the secrets, if you will, if there are any at all. But this seems to be just like a very congruent, like pleasing shape. It's sort of like, it's almost like graffiti. So if this was like someone creating graffiti, it would seem to me like they would want the viewer to feel like a sense of like, like someone else who has created this. I don't know, just like just it's just a sense of like, I don't know, I feel kind of like calm just looking at this, and I get the sense that it's been created by something or someone. like a in a very like congruent state of mind. And I've been studying frequencies and that sort of thing a lot, like wave patterns and all. And yeah, it really does seem like the universe is comprised of waves, or at least waves play a big part in this grand design. Even light is, I think, a kind of wave. So and this is not my theory, but like I stole it from somewhere, but it's essentially light itself is, it doesn't like it doesn't move, like light doesn't travel. It's the waves that cause the the illusion that light travels. I will bring up that screen soon. But let's just get back into this crop circle quickly. So back to the ones and zeros theory. This triangle here seems to be well, it's obviously like it's been cut out of a different like part of this. I'm not sure exactly how to put it into words, but you know what I mean. Like from this point, if I were to mark it out with a with like a red line or something, or maybe a yellow line, just make it a bit clearer. So this forms one. By the way, I haven't done this before, and this is like my first video make about crop circles. So and I have no idea who my audience is. So if it's, yeah, just be kind. All right, anyway, what I'm doing right now with this tool Figma, Figma, is that I am essentially just creating lines to demonstrate how I perceive that this crop circle was drawn. So I'm just duplicating all these lines that I've created and dragging them to the right places, and just thinking out loud as I go along. So yeah, for those who are quite new to crop circles, I recommend watching this movie called this documentary called New Swirled Order. That's SWIRLED Order, New Swirled Order. It's one of the best documentaries I've seen, and it really goes in depth into how like, you know, like crop circles, like almost like a scientific analysis of it. It talks about how like certain particles are found on crop circle sites, how electromagnetism is identified in these sites, and also how the stems of the crops are bent at a 90-degree angle with an indication of heat, and with the bulb of the plant like bursting due to some kind of a heat. And yeah, all these crops that you see here are, well, in these kinds of crop circles, like the ones that are non-man-made, they essentially don't they don't like show signs of trampling, but they're all kind of bent at a 90-degree angle, like all these little things here. And you know, typically you would observe some kind of a swirl pattern, which very interesting to note, because it almost seems as if these areas which are untouched they seem almost to have kind of like been like a fence, like some kind of electromagnetic fence has been created around them. So and only the areas which are not which are not like fenced up are subject to this other kind of force, which seems to be, from what we know, it is well, it kind of like exerts a swirling pattern, as we can see here. And in other studies, heat has been detected. And yeah, it's really quite perplexing. But basically, this is, I think, quite a easy thing to recreate in Photoshop or some kind of graphical tool. But you can see quite clearly here, there's like ones and zeros, like 1 0 1 0 1 0. So that seems to be the pattern here. And it's hexagonal. So this whole thing is divided up into like 12 slices of the pie, if you will. What's really interesting to note is that there seems to be some kind of a line as well, like coming in to the middle, although it seems to be off center, which is kind of weird. I mean, if there was a line, I would kind of expect it to be almost in the same line as where this line has came from. You see what I mean? But what we're seeing here is that this line is kind of like off. So that's quite strange in itself. I wonder where all these lines point to. Well, they don't seem to be pointing to the center. This one does. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, the thing that I was trying to figure out is what is the correlation between this triangle, and this triangle, and this triangle. Like you see how this triangle is smaller than this one, obviously. So what I'm trying to determine is like what is the ratio. So okay, let's say this is 1, right? This is 1, whatever you can call it, 1, 1. Let's assume it's just 1 meter, which is not. It's like much bigger than that. So this would be something like, I don't know, like what do you think this is? So this is not super scientific at all, but okay, let's see. What's the size of this? What's the length of this line? It's like 115. And this is 89. So that's 0.77. So this line here, this triangle is 0.7 of this triangle. Sorry, 77%. This line here, basically, compared to this line. So let's see if the same ratio applies for this. I'm pretty sure it does. So this is 150 and this is 115. I'll just go to my calculator. 115 divided by, what's that number again? 150. By the way, if you're watching this, you must be like A, pretty bored, or be as intrigued as me and have a lot of time to spend. Yeah, so the number is 0.76. So yeah, the same ratio applies. So applying that same number to this other triangle, just bear in mind that this photo is very slightly like skewed. I guess it's hard to just take a photo from the exact like center using a drone, but let's just think 150. This would be like, yeah, this is this doesn't seem to be okay. So this is 150 and this is like 1665. So it kind of doesn't add up. It's definitely not 77% here. Let's see if we can observe that in other because I just want to make sure that it's correct. I mean, it would be weird that the final one is a bit off. So this seems to be the same 77%. Well, 80%. All right, so maybe, okay, so this line here is 86% of this line. This was this is 81. Very interesting. So obviously it's not accurate at all. Like I'm not there at the actual physical site and there's a lot of distortion involved, but 85 minus 85 divided by 75. Very interesting, because from the air, just by looking at this, I would kind of like have assumed that it's all, I don't know, like, you know, my assumption was that like the initial number, like 77%, you know, like that same ratio would be kind of like duplicated throughout the steps, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like the ratio increases as you go through the number of like the length of this. So I'm just trying to figure out 81 minus what's 81 minus 5. So that is 6. Woo. That would have been embarrassing to get wrong. Now 86 minus 5. Okay, that's okay. So what I'm doing here is essentially I'm trying to determine the number that gets smaller. So this would be like a 4 to be if we play along the same pattern. So using the same thing, 84, this would be 90, right? Okay. Okay, so what I've essentially done is that I've kind of like, yeah, if there were to be another like shape here, this shape would be bigger, and in the air, essentially this line would be 90% of this line. Okay, so let's just assume this is like a bit longer, like 90%. Okay, so yeah, and you see this extra space around the edge here, like from what I'm trying to figure out is how is this distance calculated? Like using what kind of okay. So I think no, that would be correct. So if we use that same theory, if there was like an extra shape here, like another triangle, which there isn't, it would probably be like this size. But you see this light green line here? Just trying to figure out how this is calculated. Seems to be, this seems to be the same. No, that's just me. No, I have no idea. Look, if anyone's a mathematician out there who is trying to figure out if the ratios of these waves, the ratios of these shapes make any difference, please let me know. Comment down in the comments, or just drop me a DM or something. And if anyone has any information on why some of these lines, the electromagnetic swirling, like why some of these shapes are swirled and why some of these are like in a straight line, do let me know as well. And let me know if my theory that these areas which are untouched seem to have been masked out by some kind of like anti-electromagnetic like fence makes sense, because I mean, I'm trying to figure out how the machinery, how this thing actually works. So it's either like a fence was put around these things and just like blocked any electromagnetic waves from damaging these plants, or some kind of a fence was put around these affected areas, which probably actually is the case. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. And actually, another interesting thing to note is that these lines right here, these double lines that are marked by like a tractor or something, they seem to fall like very they seem to align with the pattern. So that's quite an interesting like observation. Like it's almost as if this field was like a exercise book, you know, with lines, and the people or whatever created this were using this as a canvas. So that's, I don't know, just it's really interesting that it's aligned to the lines, like almost exactly. I'll try and find other crop circles which have this similarity. It might be an interesting thing to note. So anyway, yeah, if you have any information or on the ratios and how even the size of these hexagons is created, um, um, I mean, it could be any difference, any size, right? It could be bigger. If it was bigger, the whole shape would look kind of like off. If it was smaller, it would just not look very congruent. So I'm just trying to figure out what makes crop circles tick. So yeah, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not, well, thanks for watching. Cheers, and subscribe if you like.